Hey, welcome. It's Brian, and today we've got kind of a cool video. We are going to talk about the January 2025 issue of Guitar World, where they talk about the best and most notable players in their opinion from 2024. I always love doing this. It's more fun when it's like the Rolling Stone one, where I basically don't agree with, 80% of it or whatever. This will probably be more aligned with what I would think, and probably if you're a guitar fan and a real guitar player with varied interest, it'll probably resonate with you like it will with me. But we'll see. So the cover is this. And so, like I said, this is from January 2025. So if you're a subscriber, you probably got it like I did. And I just recently subscribed. So anyway, so here's Slash. And I guess I don't know if I would think Slash is that relevant in today, 2024. Is he a great player? Cool guy? Absolutely. But as far as I'm concerned, a little bit, not that interesting. I'm just going to kind of read them, and I'll probably kind of notate it in the video, like which is which. It is not in order. It's just basically a list. So we're starting out, of course, with Slash, then Joe Satriani. Sure, I guess. Again, I don't know how relatable he is today. Steve Vai, I would definitely say, because I just happened to see him on the Beat Tour doing the King Crimson music of the 80s with Adrian Blue, Tony Levin, and Danny Carey. And I think he's really relevant. And he also recently, within the last 2 years, did that song with Polyphia. So that really brought him to prominence to players who may have not heard of him or didn't appreciate him or whatever. So I would definitely say he's up there. Adrian Blue is next. And of course, he's the second guitar player in the Beat band, the King Crimson kind of tribute, I guess, for lack of a better term. And I would definitely say he is relevant. I've happened to see him twice this year, once with the Jerry Harrison Remain in the Light tour, which he was kind of the best part about it, amazing singing, and some of his best guitar playing I've heard ever, and many, many times I've seen him. Dave Navarro is probably in here. He is not someone I would talk about, and probably only because Jane's Addiction, as great as they were back in the late 80s, I think is when those records came out, maybe mid 80s. Great records. I loved them. And it's only because the band imploded live on stage that he's probably in here. Great guitar player. Actually love one of my favorite Red Hot Chili Pepper records is the One Hot Minute one where he's a guitar player on it. I really like that one. Gary Clark Jr. I don't know much about Gary, but he is out there a lot. Very popular. What I have heard is great kind of really high gain blues-ish stuff, I think, is what he's kind of doing. And in this, he's holding a Flying V. You probably can't see it, but anyway, he's holding a Flying V, which I hope he plays that. Next is Joe Perry, Brad Whitford. Absolutely not. As much as I love Aerosmith, they are not, it just, in 2024, I don't think. Outside of them being on tour, I think, and it's supposed to be their last tour, I think. Other than that, who cares? Kerry King, don't care. Never was a Slayer fan as much as I love extreme music. I love how popular they are, how heavy they are. It just never really resonated with me. Grace Bowers, who's probably maybe 18 now, maybe 19. She gets a lot of grief. She's a really good player. Not amazing, but she's getting there, and she gets a lot of notoriety. Probably many would say stupidly because she's a young woman and a decent player. And you definitely see those kind of instances where someone's beautiful and all of that, and they get a lot of attention that is probably unwarranted as far as being a great guitar player. I don't think that's the case with her, and being basically under 20 years old, but she's got time to kind of bloom into a great player, better than she is now. And what I've heard has been great. So I like her a lot. I've done a few videos of hers. David Gilmour has got a new record out, so he is next. And I have not heard it. I probably wouldn't listen to it. I definitely think he's one of the great guitar players of all time. But he's probably on there because of the new record, and I believe they're touring. So Next, we have Mdu Mokhtar, who I'm a fan of. I've done 3 or 4 videos for the channel and love his kind of approach to the guitar, which is kind of this great, distorted, kind of visceral, almost Zappa-esque in a way. Not really, but, it just like it's got this really cool organic approach. Great tone, great phrasing, and on top of that, a great singer and songwriter, and the band is cool as hell. So if you don't know Mdu Mokhtar, check that out. So Emily Roberts, no idea who that is. So there's one I don't know. Next is Matteo Mancuso, who, if you've watched the channel or if you like guitar or fusion or jazz rock, you definitely know Matteo, and he definitely deserves to be in here. He has definitely risen in the last 2 years since I've known about him. I might have heard the name before that, but I've done many, many videos of his, so I definitely appreciate his playing. And it's so great to have all these young players kind of not necessarily doing a retread of the past, but kind of bringing it to younger players and making younger players excited to play guitar. Much like, Tim Henson, Scotty LePage, Jason Richardson, Joshua De La Victoria, and those kind of players are definitely, I hope, attracting younger players to play and take guitar really serious, because I know they do, and they're all great players. Next, we have Marcin, which he is a great showman, great player, and has a lot of exposure on YouTube and just kind of in the public. I mean, he keeps getting better and better as well. That's not necessarily the stuff I would listen to, obviously, but for the channel, I kind of really got into kind of fingerstyle type players. He's kind of beyond that. I mean, he is like got amazing chops, but he also does kind of the rhythmic guitar stuff, acoustic guitar work, and all of this kind of stuff that brings more of the show to you, kind of thing. And it's always great to watch him. Taylor Swift, I mean, is that a joke? I don't know. I'm not saying she's not incredible as a performer and singer, but I didn't know she played guitar. So that's the second one I know nothing about. John Five, always a cool player, kind of multi. He does a lot of stuff, a lot of chicken picking stuff, and he's in Motley Crue. I believe right now he's been in lots of other bands. I don't really follow him much, but if there's kind of a cool video, I'll check it out, and I always find him funny and a great player. Nancy Wilson, she is an incredible player, but I think they're talking about her. She kind of had to, like kind of a resurgent. Her and her sister, I don't think really get along, or maybe that's been patched up. I don't know. But in her day, in the 70s and 80s, an incredible guitar player. And I'm glad she's still around playing the music of heart. But I'm not sure if she's that relevant in 2024. Like, that's the gist of this whole thing. Relevant players in 2024. Next is Susan Tedeschi. I guess her band with Derek Trucks, probably pretty popular and kind of touring a lot, and that's great. I love Derek's playing. That band I've never seen. It's never really resonated with me, but I definitely appreciate how many great players are in that band. Killer band. Kiki Wong, I don't know who that is. Sorry. St. Vincent, I definitely know who that is, and I've tried to listen to some. It just didn't really capture me like I thought it would. I have had lots of people kind of mention her, and I go to see it, and I kind of get it, but to me, it's it's just like the songs aren't that interesting to me, and the playing is good, but I don't know. It just never has captured me. Now that's just with me talking about listening to a few things, and I'm kind of one of those people that doing this channel, I listen to lots of things that I would never listen to unless someone pointed them out or it kind of comes across my path. And St. Vincent's is she's probably one of those. And I love that she has her own Music Man guitar, iconic looking guitar, and that she has a cool approach to playing guitar. And to be honest, I love that any star or someone that's kind of in that upper range of popularity. She's not a huge pop star like Taylor Swift, but I mean, at the end of the day, I think if some player, a younger person, sees their idol, whether it's a singer like St. Vincent or Taylor Swift, and they see them playing guitar and they pick up the guitar, even to learn their songs, that kind of, for me, is, as a guitar player and a lover of guitar music, that's really, really important. And I think that's, um, if Taylor Swift played drums, I mean, that'd be great too. I mean, whatever, or bass. That would bring younger players into doing it and at least giving it a shot, because growing up, if you're my age, you saw like Brad Whitford, Joe Perry, who I do respect as players, and they've made hundreds of great songs and all of that. Many I still kind of listen to this day. But as far as them being important in 2024, maybe not as much as we would like. So, but those are the people that inspired me. It was more like Jeff Beck, John McLaughlin, Robert Fripp, and Frank Zappa. But if that, if we can translate that to 2024 and Taylor Swift is that, young person's Frank Zappa or Jeff Beck, then cool. And maybe they kind of take that initial impetus to kind of start playing guitar and take it somewhere new. And I think that's always the case. Maybe you just become a great, solid songwriter. And like, as we all know, many, many people try to play guitar or an instrument. Any instrument is difficult. It takes a lot of time and patience, and or just many, many hours of, even if you're not kind of structured like myself and you've played a long time, it can really, really be a healing force and kind of give you some kind of purpose. And I think that's important no matter where you get your inspiration from. So that's kind of my takeaway, although I'm criticizing a few of the choices in the sense of they are not, they don't really have much relevancy in 2024. They definitely did and inspired many, many players, much like younger players are doing today, I hope. So anyway, I thought it'd be kind of fun to do that. I thought there'd be more in there, but, the one I will say that is lacking, as far as what I would say, is Dweezil Zappa. One of the most important guitar players of our time, and definitely if you're a Frank Zappa fan, and his kind of approach to guitar is very different than a Steve Vai or a Mike Keneally or definitely Frank. And so he's keeping Frank's music alive, but yet he is putting his own personal stamp on kind of the most important part in a way, and that's the guitar solos. I mean, no one's approaching the guitar like him, and with that kind of tone and that kind of just that unique approach to kind of tackling these really complex pieces. So I guess that's the one that comes to mind right off the top of my head, that I would have liked to seen in there, is Dweezil Zappa. So some of these, I think, again, were because of controversy, as far as like Dave Navarro, some of that stuff, Taylor Swift, super popular, So again, it's a fluff piece for sure. But is it as bad as the Rolling Stone 250? It might be on par, actually. If you take that was probably 25 players and they did 250. I did 100, quickly kind of just doing what we were doing, running through the list and going like, yeah, I agree with that. And like I said, kind of probably 10% I thought were kind of, in my opinion, right on. And then there was many that, that's pretty subjective. So anyway, thanks for watching this. If you're interested in the magazine, it looks pretty cool. Guitar Player just put out one with Tony Iommi. It was my first issue I got. I think that was from November. And then December is David Gilmour, which I just got. And then this is January. So go out and check it out. There's a lot of guitar players, not only just on those lists we talked about, but many talking about their favorite gear, their favorite song of the year. Just kind of cool, kind of insider, like, what was your favorite guitar or piece of gear, and what was your favorite song. And so those things are always fun to read and see what people are listening to, what they're playing, and what they're excited about. If you have a notable guitar player that isn't in that list, which I'm sure you do, please put it in the comments. Like, subscribe, and comment. Please. I'm Brian. I'll see you soon.